And have you ever experienced anything, G, where you felt like, when we were grinding out here trying to, pursue songwriting and artistry and all that, have you ever felt that coming from any A&R or anybody kind of coming like that a little bit?
Oh gosh, yes. I've been in situations with other producers and all kinds of stuff. If you do this and do that, like no, no. Even one time, I someone locked me in their studio.
What?
And, yeah,
Locked
and
you in the studio?
yes, they locked me in the studio, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna do this, or else, you're not gonna get this song. I'm not gonna give you this song." Unless you do something. So we sat there for a couple hours because I was like, it's not going down. I'm not that type of chick.
Sorry, go upstairs, bud.
So
I'm
yeah.
down here.
So even the
Oh,
people, I mean, it's at the
I need
top
to.
and these ones that are still at the bottom. You know what I mean? Doing some
Yeah.
nasty, cruddy stuff behind the scenes. And
Yeah,
it's just sick. Like, you think people are just gonna just do whatever?
wow.
No, we have more. Well, I have morals and I have standards.
Yeah,
So no, I wasn't going for that. And so I never, after I got out of there, that whole situation, I never spoke to him ever again,
yeah,
Yeah.
ever again. I
Oh,
got
Yeah,
my phone
people
down.
will definitely try to exploit their position if they
absolutely.
feel like they're in a position to do it. They'll definitely
Yeah,
try it,
Oh,
right.
yeah,
absolutely.
which is insane to me. But
And when you're a young
there's
artist, like starting out, and you're really, you really want to get in the studio. You're so passionate about this. Oh my God, I'm starting. I'm trying to do this, and then it's like, gosh, is this really what? I mean, you hear the stories, but
right.
to experience it, it's just like, come
Yeah,
on now. You crush
yeah,
someone's like dreams. You know what I mean? In a
right.
certain way, like it's just sick.
Well,
People are just
I,
sick out of it.
I would imagine it becomes even more shocking, like, because it happens on all different levels. You know what I'm saying? Whether
That
it be
that part.
a regular, lower level
That's
producer
what
or
I'm
A&R,
saying.
but then
Yep.
I think it's even more shocking when it happens at the superstar level.
Mhm.
People are kind of like, damn, I'm sitting here with Diddy or I'm sitting here with whoever. I don't want to name other names per se, but just other people on Diddy's level. You sitting with them and you're like, yo, I'm in the room finally with people
Mhm.
who really could change my life, and then they hit you
right.
with that. And I
Mhm.
think, I never been in that situation, but I can imagine it's a different kind of shock because you
Mhm.
almost like, damn, I really want to get somewhere, but
Yep.
what's this person asking me to do? You know what I'm
At
saying?
the end of
Like,
the day, bro, listen, listen. All you gonna really have left is your morals and your own integrity, right?
That's it.
So
facts.
if I leave out of this room without the record deal I thought I was coming in here with, guess what? I didn't have that record deal yesterday. I didn't,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? This
It-
wasn't the one for me. But you ain't finna
That's
take,
right.
you know what I mean, my manhood, you know what I
No,
mean?
Yep.
It
definitely
ain't
not.
worth it. Some things,
Yeah.
some costs ain't worth it, bro.
Nah.
It
Some
just
some
ain't.
some
I
things
think
just ain't
some
gonna happen.
women,
I agree.
I think
Yeah.
some
Now,
people get in a position where um, they may feel like, well, I'll be blackballed. I might not, if I
Yeah.
say no and not work with this person and try to work with somebody else,
Mhm.
maybe I'll never, get a chance to work with it. I think some of them tell them that
I
too.
might be blackball, but I ain't touching black balls. I'll tell
I
you that.
You
right.
know
It's
what?
not happening.
Exactly. Well, you know what it is. I think now this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just say this on record. You know what I'm saying? I ain't ashamed to say this. I'm gonna say that for men, I kind of feel like I'm not saying you can't get proposition. Any straight man can get proposition. I'm a straight man, and if I got proposition, it's possible anybody can get proposition.
Mhm.
But to B's point, I'm not. There ain't no gay stuff gonna be happening based on something that I could get. Like I kind of feel like the people, because you're not gonna coerce me into doing something like that. It
Exactly.
ain't enough
Right.
coercing. It ain't enough ain't no drugs, nothing like that. My thing is that you might be a little. Some people might be a little bit that way, a little bit possibly, and then. And it doesn't mean that they deserve it. I'm just saying that some people might be a little bit on the bisexual side, a little bit, and they're kind of, maybe they're swayed into possibly doing things in that realm,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel
So
like as a straight man.
what you're saying is, and again, this statement is not to blame victims,
Of
but
course.
what you're saying, Sue, if I'm hearing you, is like at some level, you have to be okay with it for it to happen.
Yes,
As a man,
you're absolutely right.
not to
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying I'm
saying.
not
Like,
saying that they're okay with being what I mean. I'm not
no,
saying, but there has to be some level of I'm willing to do this for you to get to that point of things getting done and then things get out of hand.
you're
So
absolutely right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to be a little bit that way sexually.
yeah,
'Cause I don't think you could be straight and be coerced into something like that. So,
I agree.
if
I
it's a
agree.
man and a man, so I kind of feel like if a man kind of coming at you like that, and you find yourself doing something, like, it's if you're straight, it's either nothing or something. I mean, it ain't no in
Yeah,
between for me. That's just my opinion. But because, and the reason why I say that is I think for men, I think that the men who prey on other men, they do it in a very subtle way to try to see if you are possibly
Yeah.
swinging that way a little bit, or you're open to something.
Yeah.
They kind of do it like that. So it's a little more subtle because they don't really know how you might react if you're
right.
straight, or you might be curious or whatever it is you're doing. And then with a woman, they'll still be subtle, but I just feel like with a woman, it's almost like, look, as men, when we trying to get something from a woman, even a straight man, straight woman, not in that type of situation. A man might tell you what you want to hear, take you where you want to go, tell you the right things, all because he's trying to get a goal. He trying to get
Yeah.
something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
And in those situations, it's the same thing, but it's just he's dangling more things, in front of you as a woman. So I just feel like my point is, for a man, I feel like the approach is a little more subtle, and I feel like if you gonna do that, you're partially open to do it. Don't mean you
You
deserve
were
it.
already curious about doing it.
You curious because
And
I mean,
That's
you
all it is.
run it.
Yeah.
I didn't really run into those situations in music, but I have run into those situations in life,
Right.
just in general. I've run into some situations, even at work, where men have felt a little too comfortable um, being touchy feely,
Yeah.
making certain comments to me. You know, I mean, anybody can be sexually harassed at any time.
Right.
And I think when people feel like they have some sort of power over you, no matter how small it may be, they're going to try to exploit that in some kind of way. And and really, honestly, whether you're straight female, straight male, or whatever you are, I feel like if you're open to it, then you may put yourself, if you're open to it, you may put yourself in that situation unnecessarily when you don't
Right.
have to. You know what I'm saying? There's some situations you can't get out of, right? People
Yeah.
are harassed repeatedly. But then
Yeah.
there are some situations where it's like, if you know this person is like this and you have a choice, you have control over not being around that person, and then you keep going around that person anyway, there's some accountability there. And with that is a reference to the whole Bill Cosby thing, because there are some women who knew they were being drugged, but you kept going back over there for years. That does not make sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Yeah.
Again, there's some victimology there. I get that,
Right.
but I, you, I'm puzzled by that.
Say
You had the choice
Yeah.
not to go back over there. You weren't over there at gunpoint.
Yeah.
You weren't forced.
Yeah.
You were there on your own free will. You
Yeah.
knew that you were being drugged every time you went there, but you kept going back there because you wanted to further your career. That, I'm sorry, but it doesn't make sense to me. I know that's going to be a very unpopular position.
Yeah, no, it's hard to
Yeah.
feel bad for them. It's
And-
hard
and-
to, and people who do that. It's
Right.
really hard to like.
It's confusing to me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's confusing. Well, I thought, he had control over my career. How did you think that, though?
Well, no, it's the same.
I
It's the
don't-
same. It's the
I
same
don't
thing.
get
Like,
it.
Bill Cosby is so powerful. Bill Cosby is like, I mean, he's almost like the P Diddy of TV. You know what I'm saying? In a way, he's so powerful.
And you know what?
I-
That even makes it worse in a way. It's like you, the point that one or both of you made earlier. It's like, if you feel like you're open to this in order to get where you want to go, then there's some accountability that needs to be taken there, because now you have a choice.
Mhm.
Do you want your
Yeah.
career, which is that is a choice, right?
Yeah.
Do you want your career and then go through this, or do you want to exercise your right to say no? You know,
But see, you said that earlier, twin. You like that, but that's the thing. You said earlier about Diddy, about people coming out because they didn't get what they was promised, and that's essentially what happened. Because Bill was promising people, you know, he'll get them here, he'll get them there, and introduce them to here and there. And
a lot of those
there's
women did
some
not
people
get
there's
anywhere.
some people who he helped that I'm sure he was, you know, had sex with or touched on or whatever and helped them, and he ain't gonna help everybody. You know, he gonna help some, and the people who didn't get what they were supposed to get, they came out 40 years later, 30 years later, you know what I'm saying? And
I just don't understand it though. Like, if I know that this person drugged me and assaulted me, why would I keep going back there? Like, I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
There's no
well, you know what
freaking
it is? It's
Mhm.
simple. To me, it's simple as this. And I always say that this ain't something that men have. But for the most part, I would say for the most part, it's women all have a choice as far as what they want to bargain for their sexuality. All women, I don't care what you look like. Well, not all women, but most women. You know what I'm saying? The time they adolescence to the time they become older women, they have a choice as to how to bargain their sexuality. There's always a choice there for them to do that. And there, you know, I would say most women don't do it. But there's a lot of women who will bargain it one way or another. What they bargain it for might be it might be as low as a free meal. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
might bargain from a free meal all the way to I want to get a guest spot on your show. Your show that's been number one for 9 years. You know, Cosby Show was the biggest thing
Yeah.
smoking. Well, a lot of this stuff was before
Yeah.
Cosby Show, but some of the stuff was during Cosby Show, from what I understand. And you know what I'm saying? He's when you're that big, a woman will decide, okay, well, look, I done had sex with these other people and I ain't get nothing, so you know, I mean, what's one night or two nights if I'm gonna
What can
get?
it hurt? Right.
Yeah, what can it hurt? I just slept with some broke people, so what? You know, let me see what I can get. And there's just to your point, there's a lot of women who I think decided to make that choice to bargain that, and then if it didn't work out, then they like, shoot, I'm about to jump on this lawsuit. We
There's
might talk
another
about it in
aspect
just a
to all of this that affects this that we haven't discussed yet. Um, there, we live in first off, the court of public opinion is crazy right now. Like people get tried
Mhm.
on the internet before you even get to court.
You
But
get tried, convicted, and
Yeah.
there's
executed.
Yeah.
absolutely, but there is a thing where we are living now in a society where it's now guilty until proven innocent. The minute somebody accuses anybody of anything, we somehow immediately believe that accusation. I can
yeah,
literally say,
That
"So
for a long
you stole my
time.
bike in fifth grade." You know what I
yep,
mean? And they would believe that you did that before. You know what I mean?
yep.
It's the
I think it's been like that
accusation.
for a while, though, B.
Yeah,
It's really bad
it's
now,
a
though.
terrible thing though, because
Yeah.
anybody can say anything at this point,
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a
Well, here's the
scary
and people are
thing:
thing.
going to believe it.
Yeah.
we
That
all
is
got
a very
microphones
scary
now.
thing.
Everybody got microphones
Cameras.
now. So the
Yes.
fact that everybody got microphones now, man, if someone say something about you,
You
yo,
see what I'm
listen,
saying?
Yeah.
listen.